Monopoly? How about a Black Flag remake? And this just in, Fortnite is an addiction. From the realms of the unknown, this is Pixel Realms, episode 36. Also, please don't forget to stay up to date with our stuff by smashing the subscribe button, hitting the like button, and all that good jazz. Joe, the news is fun. This past, 2 weeks, we've got a lot of Microsoft-related things I was noticing. Microsoft and Apple, but a lot of Microsoft stuff.
Yeah, Microsoft's really been in the news for the positive and for the negative.
Shocking.
Yeah, and so this week's episodes, it's gonna be interesting. We have a lot of weird mixture of things. We have gaming related stuff, we have entertainment stuff, and then of course we have just kind of tech news, quote unquote, in it as well. Let's start off with what's the biggest, hottest thing right now. And as the day of this episode recording, this one is not live for those who have been tuned into the live episodes. This is not a live episode. We're doing a recorded one for this one, but it is Ready or Not, which is launching today, the 15th of July on console. And one thing that's separated Ready or Not from other shooters out there, tactical shooters, is that the word tactical is used. This isn't your Call of Duty type game, and then this isn't your Fortnite game. This is, you need to work as a team, and in most scenarios, you're not supposed to kill anyone. You're supposed to go in there and save the hostages, collect the dope, whatever it be, but you're not supposed to kill people unless they fire upon you. And with that comes the real life situations, such as blood and gore, such as nudity. And violence is a big factor. If you watch if anyone, Mark and I know this, we grew up around the same time, Cops.
Yep. Live from whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. And like Cops obviously blurred out stuff because it was on Fox, right? It was on, the bunny ears. You can watch Cops anywhere in the world with some bunny ears. But they blurred out a lot of stuff. So imagine taking Ready or Not and blurring it out. It's kind of what's going to be happening here.
People are upset, and I understand Ready or Not. They are not a huge developer. They are a smaller developer comparatively.
Void, this is the only thing that I think they've made, actually.
I think so. I think we looked that up recently, and we were like, this is the only thing they've done. So
but they did
makes sense. But it makes sense that they would make it kind of console friendly. What people are upset about is that it's editing the PC version as well. It's the update is affecting PC players too, and there isn't like a toggle that you could say, okay, well, PC players, you want it uncensored, you want it back to the uncensored version. No, it's just a one straight solid update there, and so the PC fans are upset because it's quote unquote selling out. Because they could just add a simple toggle for people who want the uncensored stuff, so that they're upset about that. And I mean, I kind of understand it. I don't know. I think they're in this particular situation. It's probably a lose-lose for Void. You're either gonna piss off the hardcore fans that have stuck with you this whole time, or you're gonna piss off people who the console people and maybe not be able to sell the game for all audiences, because they'd have to put if they left like the and the gore in the game, they would have to put a much extremer rating, and that would affect sales.
Sex sells. I'm just going to say that. Look at Grand Theft Auto is the most successful game in the history of gaming for the most part. And everything we mentioned, gore, nudity, violence, is in every single one of their games, including Take-Two's or 2K's Red Dead Redemption, right? So, and I get it that they want to try to get, I don't know what the rating's actually going to be on console. I didn't look at that, but like, I get they want to try to capture more people, but at the same time, if a parent isn't going to let someone play Ready or Not because of the violence in general, because you're shooting people, Well, that's taken away from the sales already. So, and you might be alienating those who are like, "Oh, I'd really love to have a really authentic SWAT game that we haven't had in forever." Well, now you just, took that game out of their mind.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I see the point. I see that. I'll be honest, Joe. I never noticed any nudity in the game ever. I know it was probably there, but the intensity of the game, trying to stay alive when
Well, what the
the
hell? It's
proverbial shit hits the fan
it's rated M17 plus on console, on Xbox.
on console, and that's
Violence,
censoring it.
blood, sexual themes, nudity, strong language, drug reference.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
So
well,
what the
here's the
hell?
thing. Maybe that's the original. Maybe that's the original rating, and maybe they changed it because maybe the rating hasn't changed to the update. Because the sexual themes are still there. It's just that, and I've seen the screenshots.
Rated
There's
M
like
on PlayStation.
I've seen the screenshots where I guess there's like
Is it going to the Switch? Wonder if it's going to the Switch. That's why.
no, I doubt it's going to the Switch. But I've seen some of the screenshots, Joe. I don't know if you saw the screenshots, but
No,
like
I didn't.
it does look a little tacky when you're opening like a container that has like a bunch of people inside of it that were naked, and now suddenly they have bras on and whatnot. But again, I'll be honest, I never really noticed the nudity in the game. I was too busy like focusing on the intensity of the situation.
Yeah.
So,
And again, nudity is part of
real life.
Yeah.
This is
They
are taking away a realism to the game.
As a tactical, you go in there tactical, you go into this building and there's a chance that someone's going to be just getting out of the shower, someone's going to getting off the toilet, someone's having sex, someone's changing clothes, right? All these things happen in real life, and to remove that element is a pretty big deal for a title that is all about realism.
Especially without like when all they had to do was maybe include a toggle.
Yeah,
But
that's all I'm asking
guess
is a toggle. That's all I want.
I guess at the same time though, me personally, I don't see it as big of a deal. When you're talking about a smaller company that's trying to reach a wider audience so that they can make more money to potentially maybe make the game better, or the sequel, because if Ready or Not does really, really, really well, like I feel like it's been doing since they've been able to keep releasing content, then there's going to be the inevitable Ready or Not 2. And if they do well on consoles and continue to do well, that just means that the next game, maybe it gets an upgrade. So it's I don't know. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Despite the community backlash, Ready or Not quickly became the most pre-ordered game on PlayStation Store.
That's not saying much. PlayStation doesn't have any games, so.
Well, fair enough. Either way, I'm pissed off. I don't think it's fair for gamers on PC, people who own it. They've modified a game that I guess don't own, because you don't own jack crap anymore when it comes to games. But like game that I bought that we have DLCs for, that we have many hours into, is no longer the game that we had, that we paid for previous to this upgrade, update, however you want to say it. So for me, it puts me in the situation where, like, I don't know, unless they revert it at some point and give us that toggle, I don't know if I'm interested in Ready or Not 2. If they ever release that, I'm going to have second opinion on the company going forward.
I think that you'll see them eventually add that toggle. I think they needed to get the game ready for consoles and release it for consoles, and then they'll go back and fix.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Until they give me a reason to say no, they really don't care about the player base, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt for now.
Yeah, very fair. Assassin's Creed Black Flag apparently is being teased a reported remake coming down the road. So we know that Assassin's Creed had some remakes recently, And the question is, when is
They?
their most? Yeah, they had Assassin's Creed 3. Which one was that? Unity or Brother? I don't know. One of them had a remake not too long ago.
Well, there was Assassin's Creed 1, then there was Assassin's Creed 2, and then Brotherhood technically wasn't 3, because 3 was the I actually thought 3 was Black Flag, but I think that was 4.
Yeah, I think that
There
was
was
4.
there was one that took place kind of like in the Civil era, right? Like during the Civil War
Yeah,
type like
yeah.
stuff. That
Hmm.
one was 3 then. Um, I didn't know that there was any remakes because I mean, you'd think that that would have been big news that beloved games like Assassin's Creed 2 and and Brotherhood, which were for the longest times, I was told by people in the community those were the best games that of the best Assassin's Creed games. I
Yeah.
had no idea they were remade. When was
Well,
this?
I shouldn't say remakes. They were what's the word they use? Not remake. What's the other word they use?
Remaster?
Enhanced or something? Remastered? Yeah, remastered. They've been. I don't remember which one it was. There was one not too long ago. I want to say it was
Oh,
3.
I still hadn't heard that, and then that also kind of begs the question: why wouldn't the original couple games get fixed first, or get remade, or remastered, or
Well,
re-released, or
I think it's all about what's gonna sell the most, and Black Flag was their most popular game, most successful
huh?
across the series. So they'd probably want to hit that one first to see what the drive is, and if that means they can get more people interested, then they can go back and say, "Oh, let's do number one now."
I guess.
You know, look
Fair
at
enough.
the same could be said, and obviously this one makes sense. But like when Dead Space got remade, Dead Space, the original Dead Space was a super successful game, but it didn't. The remake didn't do as well as they expected, so they scrapped the plans to do a remake for the second one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
Halo's future will be revealed in October, says Xbox. Halo's been rather interesting because there hasn't been a Halo game now in 4 years, give or take. Infinity, I think, is the last one. Infinite, whatever it's called, was the last one, which
I,
is a fun game. Like it was an open world Halo game. I had a blast with it.
you
And like I never been into the PvP stuff of Halo personally. I've always played it for like the story side. And then they had the Halo Collection Edition that came out around that same time, and it was successful as well. But I think once Bungie left Halo or Xbox and Halo, that was pretty much the end of Halo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do people care about Halo outside of playing the old Halo game? Because I feel like you know the franchise kind of died. I mean, kind of like the same thing with Kojima, right? He left Konami. Are they really doing more Metal games? Like, I haven't heard of a new Metal Gear game. I think the fifth one. Uh, I think Kojima was still sort of involved in the fifth one, right? He wasn't completely out by then, I
Yeah,
don't think.
I think you're right.
So I'm just kind of curious on how that's going to work, because you would think that there's no Halo without Bungie, but I mean, at the same time, Halo is such a big franchise that it probably, Microsoft can't be like, we're not doing anything else with Halo, because that was their thing. That was the whole reason why Xbox was successful at all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was Halo.
Halo was their big go-to. And Bungie's shown that Bungie also struggles under the pressure as well. We look at Destiny 1 and 2, both successful games in regards of sales, but both lots of question marks in terms of
Lots of problems.
longevity. Halo,
Yes.
Destiny 1, I had a blast playing it, but there really was no end game that was ideal. And then Destiny 2 came out, and it's been out now for a very long time, and it's done well. It's just they keep on making changes, reverting changes, adding things, removing those things
Yep.
they added. And then there's it was Halo, or sorry, Destiny 1, right, where they changed out what's the thing? What's the little dude that talks with you? I can't remember what it's called. Little metal dude. They changed out the voice actor
Wait.
from
Are you ta-
the
are you
Spark or
talking
whatever
about
that thing's called.
I don't
Peter
remember.
Peter Dinklage was the original voice actor, and the Nathan shoot, what's his name? Uncharted
I
guy, Uncharted voice actor. He ended up taking over the voice.
Troy Baker?
No. It's Nathan something. Nathan, I don't know. But anyways,
Oh,
so yeah, so they had changed out the voice actor because people hated the voice actor from the Peter Dinklage, who's in Game of Thrones. They changed it. Yes, they thought he was too monotoned, so they changed him out
oh, you think?
and brought in a big time voice actor. Which, okay, first was their first mistake. Okay, so the first mistake is you hire someone who's not a voice actor to play the voice of a robotic android. Anyone see the issue with that? And then you replace it with a known voice actor, and get this, the fans are super excited about that. Weird. But like, okay,
Fans are weird.
I remember one of my most successful videos on my old gaming channel was I made a video comparing both voices. It was just a little clip of one scene and another scene and I absolutely loved Peter Dinklage's voice. I thought it was perfect because he was very, again, monotoned with it all, and it made me just be like, yeah, this sounds like in my opinion, what a robot drone floating around in a cube would sound like.
It sounds like they wanted Claptrap without being Claptrap.
Oh yeah, probably.
From what's it called? From Borderlands.
Nathan Fillion. Oh, that's not right. Nathan Fillion. Is it?
I have no idea. I do not know.
Nolan North. Nolan North. That's what I'm thinking. That's who replaced the voice from Peter Dinklage. He's the voice actor.
Nolan North's a great voice actor.
Oh, he's amazing. And I loved him in Uncharted. Fantastic. He's freaking amazing. And he's fine as the new voice. He's fine, but I personally preferred Peter Dinklage's voice for that character. But either way, the history of Halo is in question. Speaking of Xbox, continuing, Xbox hardware is dead, says founding team member. And this actually rolls into another story. I'm going to move things around here, Mark, on our little news report, just so we can kind of make sense of all this. But so here's why they're saying this. One is Microsoft's really been pushing the Game Pass. And this isn't part of our actual story, but Game Pass apparently isn't doing as well as they wanted to on the financial end of Microsoft. They have a lot of subscribers, but subscribers doesn't mean making money. And at the end of the day, it's a company that's all about trying to make money. If they're not selling the hardware, they need to be selling games to make the money. And typically a lot of hardware developers lose on the hardware but make money on the software. In this case, Microsoft's not making money on the software nor the hardware, so Xbox division, what? Yeah. And that's what they say.
I don't know anyone who owns one of the new consoles, the Xbox X44, 362, 450, whatever it's called. I lost track after the 360.
Yeah.
Which was a very successful console.
It was too successful for Microsoft's own good.
Yes,
I
agree.
Microsoft came into the gaming industry expecting to buy gamers, and they succeeded. They bought out gamers. They bought out gamers having these new, hip, exciting consoles that look weird, but they had titles to back up that product.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at the end of the day, though, it wasn't that they didn't buy the gamers because of their fucking hardware. They bought the gamers because people fucking loved Halo, and Gears of War was really good, and it kind of paired with Halo well. It was something new and different at the time. So, and that's what sold the consoles. It had nothing to do with the console itself. I don't think anyone gave a flying fuck what the Xbox looked like at the end of the day. I mean,
yeah,
it could be a toaster as long as you stuck the game in there and the game ran. You know.
But we're looking at, in today's world, Microsoft has bought out Turn 10, they bought out King, they bought out Minecraft, they bought out Activision, they bought out
Yep.
Bethesda. Like, they have gone out there and spent billions of dollars buying out
And outside
studios
of
of fans' favorite titles.
and outside of Minecraft, I think they've all of those titles have done work under Minecraft or Microsoft, haven't they? I feel like it. You know,
That's kind of questionable to say because a lot of these titles have been in development prior to the Microsoft purchase. Now, the thing that what Microsoft
fair enough.
does that can cause issues is Microsoft can strap on time restrictions, meaning that
Yep.
we told everyone it's coming out summer of 2025. This damn game's coming out summer of 2025. Imagine
Yeah.
if Microsoft bought out, this would never happen, they bought out GTA 5 or GTA.
Yep.
That game would have came out
and
this summer. There's
yeah,
no
and it
doubt, and it
wouldn't
would
have
have been a bug fest.
it reminds me of what happened with when EA and I believe it was EA. No, was it? Who owns BioWare?
EA, yeah.
Yeah, so Star Wars: The Old Republic was an MMO that was for about 4 years, and it was going to be offering full voice acting, just realer time like graphics and just a lot of really good storytelling and making decisions matter like your other BioWare games, and EA was like, it's been in development long enough, put it out.
Yep.
And the game was not ready. The game was not ready. Did it function? Yes. Was it a playable game? Yes. Was it ready? Was it polished? Was it finished? No. Did it fail because of it? Yes. It's the only reason why it's still going is that it went to a free to play model.
Yeah.
And, people could choose to put money into the game. But if they had let it cook properly, it could have been maybe the quote unquote wow killer that people thought it was going to be. And that is a good example of what a company like Microsoft can do, owning a company that's developing a game.
And when they first bought out these studios, things were looking pretty good. They were taking the same tactic that Disney was taking, which is Disney was buying out studios as well. We know that. But Disney was saying, here, shut up, take my money, do things to make us successful. And came out amazing content. We think of all of the original, the OG Avengers stuff, Captain America and Iron Man, etc. were all incredible films. And as time went on, Disney started sticking its little nose into the stories more, pushing out time restrictions, and we've gotten more trash out from Marvel than we've ever had.
Star Wars is in a terrible state.
Exactly. Star Wars is, so there's a thing about fans love content. I kill for Star Wars stuff. I absolutely love it. I'm missing out that there's no shows right now. Like, I'm sad. But at the same time, I don't want to watch garbage.
Yes, that's the thing.
I'm willing to wait.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, we want the content. We want it now, but we want it to be good, and we will wait for the content to be good.
Yeah.
And Disney isn't about that, and that's what the fear is with a lot of these companies. And you see the game suffer because of it.
Yeah. And so that brings us to the topic next, which is that there's a leak suggesting that the ROG Xbox Ally X, Ally?
This pissed the Ally
is going to be the most expensive Xbox console yet. So we reported on this a few months back, but there was a leak that came out suggesting that Microsoft was going to kill off its actual standard TV consoles and replace them with the Switch kind of version, which is a portable device.
Which would have been fine.
Yeah.
That would have been fine. The Valve, what's it called? The Steam Deck is a very successful console in the sense that, like, you can hook it up to your television, but it is meant to be played mobily,
Yes.
like the Switch.
Correct. And Microsoft backtracked and said, "Well, we're not going to completely do that. We're going to team up with a vendor. But it's going to be our primary console, and we're going to support them, and we're going to give them restrictions and all that stuff. And here comes this ROG console, which is leaked to be priced between $700 to over $1,000. Put that in perspective. You can buy a
Yeah.
Switch deck, or sorry, a Steam Deck, LCD or the OLED version, ranging from $400 to $650, and have access to all of your Steam library content. So almost
You can
$400
mod
more.
it to do other things.
Yeah, almost $400 more for the Xbox version. And
I was excited at first when we talked about this because it was going to be able to run. It was going to be able to run Steam as well as
it runs
have
Windows.
the Game Pass stuff.
Yep, it runs a version of Windows, a bare bone version of Windows. So in theory, you could run pretty much any title your heart can imagine on this portable device.
But now you're talking about it being in freaking in computer range. I'm sorry.
For $1,000, you can buy a laptop that can perform probably better than whatever this ROG is going to be.
You could buy a budget desktop that could run probably just as well, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is stupid.
And I get like the aspect of the, it's portable. I get that aspect of it and all that jazz. But again, there's a question mark of how long is the battery going to last? What's the actual specs of the system? Right? For that price tag, it better be a high-end damn system. And that software better run damn smooth, because the Steam Deck runs, I don't own one, but it runs apparently really damn good. So if you're running Windows on it, it better be running flawlessly.
I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't fucking matter. Not at that price point.
No,
not when you can buy not when you can buy a Steam Deck. The ROG Ally didn't sell.
No.
So, but it was made by Asus, so it was from what I heard was at least a decent little handheld. It's just that it didn't sell comparatively to the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Now you're saying, okay, Xbox is getting behind it, but instead of making it affordable, you're gonna make it even more expensive than the Steam Deck? No, come on, like. This is so dumb. It is so dumb what people think. And I'm so pissed because it had such an opportunity to do something like the original Switch did, where it came out at an affordable price point for people in this time of the world where finances are really bad, people are struggling, and you could have given somebody, say, a $500 or $600 console, still pricey, but at the same time it competes with the Steam Deck, maybe has better quality than the Steam Deck, and could Steam Deck, and you're gonna throw $700 to $1,000 price tag when you could easily go out there and buy a goddamn tablet, you can buy a goddamn laptop.
Yep.
No, that is, it's so beyond asinine.
Windsor's user base shrinks by 400 million in 3 years. Now, this number is hard to really confirm because that doesn't mean people are leaving Windows and going to Linux or to Mac OS. It just means
this one doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it just means that there may be people who have ditched their PC and have just gone to a tablet, so went to an iPhone or iPad, or went to an Android tablet, or even Google has their own tablets. So
I can see that.
The world has obviously moved a lot more towards portability, and laptops. There are very good laptops at a reasonable price, but there's also a lot of Chromebooks that can perform a lot of the tasks that a lot of people do, surfing the web, paying bills.
Surface Book?
Yeah, Surfaces, yep. Those are running Windows, though.
Okay, you're right. Or a MacBook. Get a Mac, people using MacBooks.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's I think it's more of what the trend has become, which is people have been moving over maybe to Android itself more, or over to an Apple-based product for their primary use?
I'll give you an example. My wife has a laptop. I haven't. It hasn't been quite a year. It hasn't been that long, but it's been easily 6 months or more since she's even turned that thing on. I don't even know where it is right now. I think we stuck it in a drawer, and I don't remember what drawer we stuck it in. I know we have it somewhere,
Even go as far
but
as
she is on her phone. She is glued to her phone.
Yeah.
To the point that she'll turn on the TV to watch TV, and she can't stop looking at her phone while she's watching fucking TV. So yeah, it makes sense that the overall window user thing has shrunk, but because people were moving away from using a quote unquote Windows system.
Yeah, and even go to the point, I'm not sure how often anyone's ever been into a mobile phone company store like T-Mobile or AT&T, but like they walk around with iPads or tablets, and instead of bringing you to a computer which used to run Windows, so corporations are moving over to tablets more, which makes sense because one, they're less maintenance, typically cheaper, and perform the task at the same amount of speed or even more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of Apple loses its bid to dismiss a U.S. smartphone monopoly case, and this one kind of shocked me because I never really thought of Apple having a monopoly. Because
they don't. Samsung has just as popular a phone as Apple.
You look at Samsung and Google and Motorola and LG, like it's more in my opinion, it's Android monopolizing the market
I was gonna
more.
say, if Apple is gonna lose this kind of thing, then Android / Samsung and all these other companies use exact lawsuit then, because Apple does not have a monopoly. You could argue maybe it has a monopoly on other things, but even then I can't think of one off the top, because smartwatches out there besides Apple Watches. There's there's the MacBook, but then there's the Surface Pro. So they don't have a monopoly. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought it was kind of weird that this case was even a thing, but so
And I'm not a big, I have an iPhone and I use my iPhone a lot, especially for VTubing. It's very big for VTubing, but I am not an Apple. So I'm not defend them by means, but let's not be retarded here. Let's be stupid here. They don't have a monopoly. If anything, you want to sue them for maybe not making up their mind and sticking to one model more than a year before the iPhone 75 comes out, and then the iPhone 374, and then the iPhone 1253. Maybe sue them for that before you say that they have a monopoly on anything.
Different sources, but 1 billion Apple devices compared to about 3 billion Android devices currently running. So 1 to 3. So for every 3 devices out there, one of them is an Apple device. 2 of them are Android. So Android, like I said, I feel like has always had a much more monopoly of the market.
Exactly. That's so weird.
Yeah, but I guess the argument can be the following: Apple really restricts their systems so that you really can't, unless you root it, you can't install applications on there unless they come through the Apple Store. Where on Android, you can. You just need an APK, and you can just download it and pop it in and install it, and you're fine. So
yeah, but there's ways around it with Apple. I've done it myself, where I've been able to make it so that I can install like my own APK type stuff on Apple. So it's not completely. I mean,
yeah, it's not as easy as just clicking a button.
That's fair.
On Android, and most, I'm going to say quote unquote Apple users who, this is always, I found the weird thing. I always used to think of Apple users as being higher end users. They're more knowledgeable. They whatever it be, because Apple, Mac OS back in the day used to be a more complex system. It's based on Unix, which is more complex. And as Apple has evolved, they've released the iPhone and dumbed down everything. And now, in my opinion, Apple users are the dumber users. The people who just want something to push a button and it works, right? I shouldn't use the word dumb because I'm not referring to them as being dumb people, but they're not as advanced as users on Android seem to be now, where now Android users want customizability. But Apple's also bridged that gap as well. So now I'm kind of contradicting my own self.
So you want to know something about making money? You want to know something easy about making money? Try being Netflix and taking anything popular and just make a live action version of it. For example, so this is something for me in a way, because I'm a big anime guy.
Yep.
Well, over the last year, there's a show called Solo Leveling that came out, and it was huge. It blew up. It took home all kinds of awards for anime awards. It's anybody who watches anime, that's the thing that's the show that everyone's talking about. So Netflix saw that and said, "Well, we like money, so we're gonna hire, actors and whatnot, and we're going to basically take the big, huge anime show that works as an animation, and they decided we're gonna make a live action version of it, because the one thing that you want to see these days is something that looks good as an animation and is meant to be animated." And try and live actionify it.
It's all about the dinero.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I will say, like, Netflix has a track record. They can be hit or miss. I will be the first person to say that when they first announced the live action One Piece show, I was the first person to say that'll never work. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be, awful, and I quickly swallowed my words. It was fantastic. It was well done. They actually the show is being made by fans of the show, and they work directly with the creator of the franchise, and he handpicked all of the cast for every character that's played in the One Piece show is handpicked by Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece. So that's not to say that that's going to happen with Solo Leveling, but that means that there is a opportunity there for them to do good by the show and not just cash in. But we'll see, because it is Netflix, and they are very greedy. And you can check every 6 months the price hike in their subscription fee, and you can see how greedy they are there. But speaking of greed, I do have to bring this up too. Subnautica 2 is getting delayed until 2026, and the delay is basically so that the dev team loses $250 million.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's something that they're doing with it. I was trying to remember the entire article, and but it was making a big stink. It was making a big stink online about it, but essentially the Crafton, I believe is the name of the company. They are trying to push the game back so that way people don't, like, the dev team doesn't get their bonuses and whatnot. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know how this can fly, but yeah, it's basically it's pissing off a lot of people, and it's also putting a negative mark on what should be a big game.
Yeah, Subnautica, everyone raves about it. Anyone who's ever played or VR or Pancake, like, it's supposed to be. And I should lie. I lied a little bit. I tried it. I just didn't try enough. But it's supposed to. It's raved about all the time. It's been a top game, and to do, and it happens so often. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but this happens so often with a game that's successful, and all of a sudden they work on a sequel, and it's just like they botch it somehow.
Yeah, so they fired some of the co-founders of Unknown Worlds, They fired a bunch of them, and then the biggest thing is that they delayed the game simply so that the devs didn't bonus. So I'm guessing that they had to get the game out by a certain time, and if they got it out by a certain time, they were going to bonus. And because they're pushing it back, because they're saying no, we don't want to pay you these bonuses. Essentially, they're pushing the game back. So it doesn't even sound like the game itself wasn't done. It sounds like they just didn't want to pay these bonuses to the people who made the game.
Speaking of paying bonuses, Microsoft's not going to be paying people out because they just laid off like 9,000 people. And that affected, I shouldn't laugh, it's awful, but that affected...
it is awful, but the irony of it is funny.
Yeah. They laid off over half of the Forza team, which the Motorsport 8 or 9, whatever the one recent came out, hasn't done so well. We kind of knew that they were going to shift things over to Horizon, but they announced Horizon. They also had super success with Horizon on the PS5, which is, it sold a crap load of copies. It was more anticipated than they expected. The King, which makes Candy Crush, I don't, if people even play that anymore. And then Activision also was affected. A big studio like Activision was also affected by this as well. So, and this is just one of the next rounds. There are going to be more rounds, Microsoft says, of layoffs for their gaming division. And on top of that, here's even more of a what the F. Microsoft employee criticized for advertising Xbox advertising Xbox game roles using AI. So they laid off 9,000 people from the game division, and then they're using AI artwork to advertise jobs hiring for the Xbox graphics role.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you and I both have talked about this in the past, that we support AI, but we support AI when it's used properly.
Yeah.
But using AI to not pay people, that to me is unacceptable.
Yeah.
There's a difference between us, for example, Pixel Realms, we use AI kind of to generate like a basic piece, because we can't, unfortunately,
we are tiny.
We are very, very tiny.
Yeah.
We can't afford to pay an artist for every. I wish we could.
Yeah.
I wish we were either artistically inclined and could, or we could pay someone. I would love to pay an artist for every single thumbnail.
And if
we started making money, I absolutely would.
Took the words right out of my mouth there.
I have a bunch of friends that I've met over the last year that are artists that I could easily slip them 50, 75, $100, and they could produce a quality thumbnail. But we can't do that.
And this one, the whole thing is just bad with this one, just because they just laid off a bunch of people, and now they're hiring and using AI as an example.
Exactly, and they're artwork. Microsoft.
Yeah,
they
billion-dollar
company. To pay people.
But it's all about the shareholders. All about the shareholders.
Yeah. Always.
Fortnite Minecraft lawsuit claims games cause addiction and harm to minors. And
we did a whole show on this.
We're not going to dive into this too much, but
games can be addicting, yes, but it's also up to the parents of the children to monitor their children's playtime. If your child is playing the game too much and you feel they are addicted to the game, then maybe be a parent and unplug the fucking cord.
Pizza, hamburgers, porn, basketball, cats can all be addicting.
Yeah, you're right. Everything, anything can be addicting if you really try.
Yes. Our final story today is Windows 11, which has been out for a couple of years now. It has officially more users than Windows 10, as Windows 10 is starting to lose its support for software updates. And, Windows 11 has had its struggles, obviously. It came out and it was supposed to be this new state-of-the-art change with Windows, just like 10 was supposed to be. And it came out to be, some minor tweaks. And I think Microsoft finally realized they need to dial back the excitement level, because Windows is going to be Windows. As long as Windows is stable and is optimized to the best of its ability, people should be happy. And Microsoft doesn't make money selling Windows to consumers. They make their money selling
No.
licenses to OEMs, to manufacturers, who then sell you computers that have Windows on it. Consumers don't go buy Windows anymore. They haven't bought Windows for decades now. I haven't bought a legitimate actual version of Windows. I don't buy illegal versions, but I haven't bought a version of Windows in over 20 years. I've bought,
I've
I've bought,
I've bought one recently, about a year or two ago, because we had another computer in the house that needed a legit copy of Windows. But yeah, for the most part, you don't need to buy Windows because it's comes default.
yeah, and nowadays you don't need a code to install Windows or activate Windows.
Mm-mm.
It's built into the BIOS. So as long as you
Yep.
use the same motherboard, even when you log in to your Microsoft account for the first time after you install Windows, as long as there's a license activated on your account, you can just
Mm-hmm.
reactivate that license, right? So like
Yep.
I bought I don't know how many computers over the past OEM computers over the past 10 years. So I have like 10 different licenses on my profile. So I just go in there, hit a button, and it's like, all right, cool, you're good to go. Have fun. And you
Yeah.
can do like up to, what is it, 5 or 6 different hardware changes or something like that, major hardware changes. And I'm talking about motherboard in terms of hardware changes, not just RAM sticks or hard drives. And you can do that like per license. So the times of buying Windows is damn near extinct. But it's good to see
Mm-hmm.
11 finally getting more users over, because for me, it's been probably the most stable version of Windows I've ever used in the history of Windows. And I've been using Windows for over 30 years now.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, anything to add to our news episode?
No, not really. I was going to start the show with it, but I was going to say, be careful of addictions to gotcha games, because I've been playing one recently that is taking up my whole time, and thankfully I don't have to spend money on it. But anime horse girls, who would have known that they could be so addicting?
Well, you like Horde Dragons, so I guess it kind of does make sense a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I never thought I'd like horses, let alone horse girls.
It is interesting to find the games that do get you kind of reeled in a little bit.
It is very. It's that's actually an idea for a title of for an episode one of these days. Unpredictable games that reel you in, that are kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I like that.
Something like
I
that.
do like that. Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap up the episode here. Everyone, thanks. I
Yep.
do appreciate you watching our news episode. We're going to go back to our themed episode in 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks from
Mhm.
that, we're going to do our news episode as we continue to do our new trend here. But thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you for the next one.
And bye bye.